Morning, everybody, and welcome to Tea Time with Miss Liz. Today in the studio, I am joined with David Stanley, the creator and founder of the Music Man Project in UK. I'm going to give you a little bit on his bio, and then he's going to take it over, and we have an incredible show lined up for you guys today. So grab your tea and sit back and listen to this amazing man. He's got an incredible story to share with all of you. So the Music Man Project charity is an international music education service for children and adults with learning disabilities, providing accessibility, music tuition, leading to inspirational performance opportunities for all, regardless of disability or disadvantage. Run by volunteers, the charity gives grants for accessible art education, promotes equal access to performance, carries out research, and raises awareness of the achievements of disadvantaged people throughout the world. The Music Man Project was founded in 1999 by charity CEO and Churchill Fellow David Stanley, who's with us today. He's taught the song I Am the Music Man to a friend with Down syndrome and established a weekly music school with local charity, Southend Mencap. And he'll share a little bit more on his friend on how it all became, right? Yeah. And then he promised his students that one day they would play the Royal Albert Hall. 20 years later, 200 Music Man Project students from across the UK perform Music is Magic at the Royal Albert Hall. I need to know more about that hall.
Yeah.
To an audience of 3,000 people, supported by mass choirs, orchestra, and celebrity guests. It was the largest ever celebration of accessibility music making in the country. The concert followed 2 Sunday nights at the London Palladium.
Palladium, yeah.
Variety show in 2015 and 2017. The first featured David's original music From the Asylum to the Palladium. My tongue is twisted. In which his students told their journey from isolated patients in mental hospitals to star of the West End. In the second, they broke the Guinness World Record for the largest ever triangle assembled, which he's going to share as well, reaching 1,521 triangles with the help of a capacity audience, including members of the royal family. David Stanley's ambition to share his teaching models to every country in England, every country in the UK, and every continent in the world is well underway. The Music Man Project Students Ambassador have launched new projects in every nation of the UK and in countries across England. David has even reached communities living with poverty, natural disaster, ignorance, and prejudice in countries thousands of miles away, including South Africa, India, Nepal, and the Philippines. The Music Man Project explores how far the universal language of music can be used to free the continent's place on people with a learning disability across the world, joining them together through song, country by country. His next ambition is for his students to perform on Broadway, and it would be great to set something up in Canada too. Right here in Cornwall, yeah. Ontario. So, David, it's all yours.
Well, Liz, thank you so much. It's so lovely to be here and a real privilege to come on and talk to you about the Music Man Project. So, yeah, as you said there, basically the Music Man Project is a full-time music service for children and adults with disabilities. I think in Canada, they're probably more called developmental disabilities. But learning disabilities, developmental disabilities, we cater for everybody. And I teach them to sing and to play instruments, no matter who they are and what they can and can't do. I don't turn anyone away. I think everybody can become a musician. And it all started, as you said there, sort of in about 1999 time. I had a friend called Tony, and he had Down syndrome. And I used to take him out to what they called shared leisure. I took him out to watch a football game here in England. We'd go out to a restaurant. It was just shared friendship time. And it was me giving back to the community. But after a few months, I realized I was getting so much more back from that experience than he was. And he became one of my best friends. And because I was a trained musician, I'm a classically trained musician, I started teaching him to play the piano just a little bit. And he loved music, Liz. He just adored it. And he in particular, he loved Christmas carols, would you believe? In the middle of July, he used to make me play him the 12 Days of Christmas over and over again because he loved Christmas music so much. So I realized that he had a special love of music, and I was able to communicate with him quite well. So that one student then turned into about 3 or 4. And then I hooked up with a local charity and said, could you give me some more students? And so they provided about 10, and then that went to 15. And yeah, as you said in that introduction, I turned to my students and I said, one day you will perform at the Royal Albert Hall. Now, if those that don't know, the Royal Albert Hall is a really famous, huge London concert venue. It seats over 4,000 people, and it is where the last night of the proms is held. It's a really famous classical venue in London. And it was my dream to perform there. And I promised them, it was a bit of a joke. I said, you know, you're going to perform at the Albert Hall one day. And Liz, 20 years later, those students were joined by 200 others as we performed at the Royal Albert Hall in front of 3,000 people.
Wow,
and it was,
see, 20 years later and a dream comes true.
Yeah, and it was the biggest moment of my career. And the journey from that one student to 200 at the Royal Albert Hall with a full orchestra and massed choirs and all those people, it's a long time. It's a hard journey because people with disabilities are not given great opportunities sometimes. Yeah. I think there's more equality, and you get disability access, you get toilets and you get ramps to buildings and you get good education, but opportunity in the arts, not so much.
Yeah.
They still have to fight for absolutely everything. And it took me 20 years to convince people that I should be allowed to hire the Albert Hall and put on a show. So it was a wonderful experience. And along the way, we've had some amazing times. And now, because of what we've achieved, the Music Man project is now all across the UK.
Oh, wow.
And it traveled to, as you said, South Africa, India, Nepal, the Philippines. And in last November, I was in New York because I want to return there and perform with my students on Broadway.
Oh my goodness, amazing, right?
Yeah, in their dream. So yeah, big dreams.
And you're going to come to Cornwall, right?
Yeah, but Cornwall in Canada.
Exactly. We would love to have you here at the Oldsmobile. It would be amazing.
Yeah, because as long any place you find some people with disabilities, and it is a huge, everywhere in the world, you will find people with disabilities. And they all love music, and the music is a universal language. So wherever I go, no matter, even if there's a language barrier, I use my music and teach my music so that they can be part of our musical family. It's really cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. In fact, one of the songs, the first song that they learn to sing is a song called Music is Magic, because I think music really is magical in what it can do. Can I just play you the beginning of the song?
You sure can. I'd love to hear it.
Here we go. So this is our theme song called Music is Magic. Music is magic. It opens up your heart. Feel it and use it. It touches every part of the world we hold dear, bringing loved ones ever near. 'Cause music is magic to me. Music is magic. It opens up your heart. Feel it and use it. It touches every part of the world we hold dear, bringing loved ones ever near. 'Cause music is magic to me.
That is beautiful. I've been listening to that song for the last 48 hours over and over again. It's so catchy and so easy, and the flow is so nice. It's beautiful.
Yeah. And that's really important what you said there, because I write the music for the students to perform, and it has to be catchy. It has to be easy for them to remember. And they go, music is magic. It opens up your heart. I couldn't show you the signs because I'm too busy on the piano. But you see, they stand and sing, but it also has an important message, doesn't it? The song is not a nursery rhyme. It's not sort of, Three Blind Mice or something really simple. It's actually quite expressive music. And that's the trick. It really is the trick to do that, to have both complex and simple at the same time. So that is the. It's called Music is Magic, and I've written, about 40 or 50 songs over the years that they all perform in the concerts. Some of them involve playing instruments, so they play glockenspiels and tambourines and drums, and then they will sing and sign and dance. And I tell you, if you go to a performance featuring musicians with learning disabilities, you cannot come out without a smile on your face.
Exactly. Just watch the video and you'll be smiling.
Yeah, it's so uplifting. Yeah, it really does raise the spirits.
It's really empowering to watch the faces. Like, I've watched the videos, and just to see their smiles when they're singing, they're right into it. Like, they're like the proudest moment of their lives. Like, they're on stage and they're little stars. Like, it is amazing.
And you know what? That's so important, because it gives them and their parents something to be proud of. So often it's all about what they can't do. It's all about what they need. It's all about what they don't have. But when they're performing in front of thousands of people and they're cheering and clapping, it's about what they can do, not what they can't do. And that's really, really important. So it's I say to people, I have the best job in the world, Liz, because I get to see people with disabilities performing my music every day.
Yeah, it is truly amazing. If you haven't seen the videos, check out the videos. YouTube is full of videos. And like I said, you need to come to Cornwall. Like, we're waiting for you in Cornwall. Like, we want to see you in Canada. And you said you'd come to Canada. So make Cornwall the place to be.
Yeah, I will, because usually when I do international trips, I usually stay for a week.
Okay.
And in that week, I teach for 3 or 4 days, children or adults with disabilities. I teach them how to do my music. And then at the last day of the trip, we put on a concert.
That is amazing.
And then we leave with all the music and all the resources and the teacher training for anybody that wants to carry on. And that would mean that Cornwall would be the first Music Man project in Canada. You will be Music Man Project Canada.
That sounds amazing.
Cool. Yeah. So it would be so cool. So Canada, that would be where it would all start. And that's what we did in India and Nepal and South Africa. We just spent some time over there showing people how to do it and launched it, really. Because all the music is free. You don't have to pay to be a Music Man project. You can have it. It's a charity.
There we go. See? So Cornwall is waiting for you.
Yeah. That'd be wonderful. So great. And you mentioned the Guinness World Record.
Yes, I did.
So here's my certificate. Look, this is the Guinness World Record certificate, and it's for the most amount of triangles played at once. And this was at our performance at the London Palladium, because you've got Broadway in New York, but in London we have the West End, and that is the equivalent. One of the most famous theatres in London West End is called the London Palladium. And that is where they sometimes do the Royal Variety performance, comes from there lots of times. And we hired that theatre for 2 performances, one in 2015 and one in 2017. And in the second one, we had 1,521 triangles all played at once.
Wow, that is amazing. And you had somebody from the royal family take part, and celebrities as well?
Yeah. Countess of Wessex was the one.
Oh, I think I lost your mic.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can. Not as good as normal. No, it's gone down a bit. Are you okay? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah, you cut out for a bit.
I think. How's that? Is that better?
Yep, that's better. I got you back.
That's better. Things keep on coming up on my phone. So yeah, to have the Countess of Wessex playing a triangle, I felt as if it gave a royal seal of approval on our performance.
Yeah, for sure, right?
Yeah.
That is cool.
Which is great. So yeah.
So your next project is to get your students on Broadway, right? Is that in New York?
Broadway, New York. So last November, I got a scholarship from the Churchill Memorial Trust, and that's a trust named after Winston Churchill.
Okay.
And that paid for me to go to New York for 1 month to research learning disabilities and music in New York for a month. So what a privilege I had.
Oh, wow.
And I wrote a report about the wonderful things I saw. So I saw some really great teaching in New York. But while I was there, I was plotting, Liz, for my next performance, which was Music is Magic on Broadway. In fact, there should be a poster. Look.
Yeah, that poster's amazing, right? It's gorgeous.
Yeah. So, and you know, that is where we want to perform next. And everybody is going to tell me that it's impossible. How can we have 100 musicians with disabilities come from the UK to perform on Broadway in New York? And how can we teach people in America to do the same and perform with us? Because we want to do a joint concert. And everyone's telling me it's impossible, but whenever anybody tells me something's impossible, it makes me even more determined.
I'm like the same way. If somebody tells me, no, you can't do it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah,
I'll find a way.
No, I'm absolutely the same. So
it might not happen today, but it will happen. That's what I say.
And obviously, at the moment with the COVID-19 crisis, you know, that has put all our plans back because no one is performing. I don't know about you where you're in Canada, but in the UK, nothing's happening. Yeah.
Well, I'd love to have you on a marathon that we're putting together for Global Peace Challenge 2020. We're actually looking to put a musical marathon together with different countries, and I'd love to have you on. If everything is up and running by then, I'd love to have you guys on.
Yeah, just let us know. My students, I mean, I'm up for anything, but my students would love to take part.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I'd love to. I'd love to hear them all together. Like it'd be amazing.
Yeah, they'd love it. Really love it. Really great. So yeah, so that's it. So really, I have the best job in the world. I have lots of wonderful people around me because we now have tutors that teach in other parts of the UK. And I just oversee the whole thing now. And I have my own students in my region of the UK. And then we all come together for big concerts. And then we keep on working. We keep on trying to show the world that music can be just a wonderful thing for these people. And it's really important also to say to you that I'm not a music therapist. I don't try and correct anything. It's not a medical thing for me. It's not clinical. I'm just a musician. I'm a music teacher. And whoever's in front of me, I want to teach them music. It's music education. And you probably know that whoever you are, you probably have some appreciation of music. You know, even if someone just taps their foot to music, they've got it inside them. So my job is just to draw out that music and teach them when to do something. And I have to make it quite simple for some of the students, but they still are a vital part of the performance.
Oh, that is cool. It is amazing what you have done. Like I said, I've watched the videos over and over again. It is amazing to see the expression on those. And it's all different ages. It's not just one age. Yeah. And that's what is amazing as well, because it shows that there is no limits, right?
Yes. The youngest, we teach about 3 or 4 year olds in special schools.
Oh, wow.
And the oldest, I think, is 75.
Wow.
And at the Albert Hall, the youngest was about 7 or 8 and the oldest was 75. So it's a huge range when we perform. They all perform together. And the other thing I want to say is that a lot of what I do for the families just as much as for the children or the adults with disabilities, because families affected by disability go through so much every single day just to survive.
Yep.
We're talking medication. There are a vulnerable group. They're at risk of COVID-19, very high risk. They might struggle with behaviors. They have all sorts of conditions. They'll be in hospital for a very long stay, surgery. They won't be able to look after themselves for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
So when the parents get too old, what happens to them then? So they're dependent on a lot. And so a lot of what I do because I really not only adore the students.
Oh, I think I lost your sound.
The parents. The parents is so important to me, the families, because they are wonderful. And I have not got children with disabilities. I can't really understand. But I've learnt over, seeing with what they go through every single day, to be able to give them something that provides a little bit of hope. I think it's really important.
It is a lot of work because, like before the show, I told you I worked with Down syndrome children, and it is a lot of work. I worked with three Down syndrome. One of the little guys, he passed away, but it was a challenge. It was hard work, and I would go home and I would be like, wow, what the parents have to go through for. I only have this child for half an hour, and she has him for the whole day. Like, you know, it is a lot of work.
Yeah.
And it's
actually
the communication as well, right? Like you need.
Yeah. And particularly at this time when everyone's in lockdown, it's like a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
I was talking to a parent the other day. Their carers aren't in because they don't want to risk infection.
Yeah.
So they're just looking after their own children 24/7, and they cannot be left. Even at night time, they have to be watched.
Yep.
So it's a pressure. So we're trying at the Music Man Project to do more online videos.
Okay.
To do more, quizzes, teaching on Zoom sessions, or just something, social media. That's why we've done more recently at the Music Man Project. And all your viewers can, as you said, follow us on YouTube, but also our website, which is themusicmanproject.com. Lots of really great stuff. And I have a podcast as well, which is the Music Man Project podcast, and a blog. So lots of stuff out there to support families going through this difficult time.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like you said, pressure cooker, right? Like with so many people being stuck at home, they're not used to this at all. So it is a lot. And music is the best way because it helps a lot.
Yeah. And a lot of my students, some of them are very aware. They know exactly what's going on. But some of them don't understand what a pandemic is.
Yeah.
How could they? And they've just been cut off from everything they love.
Yeah, they just think they're being punished, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So we're trying to reach those ones a lot recently, and trying to get some funding in the UK, maybe to buy some musical instruments so that they can have and play instruments at home.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So that's cool that you're doing that. Like it's amazing what you're doing for so many people. Like, I mean, like you work with so many. You don't work with just one person, you work with hundreds. So it is truly amazing.
Yeah, big groups.
Yeah.
Liz, can I play you another song?
You sure can. I'd love to hear it.
So this was one of the first songs that I wrote. It's called High, Low, Middle.
I listened to that one too.
Your research is great.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay.
We strum our guitars. We blow our trumpets. We sing counter-rappers. Then we sing a song. We go as high, low, middle, high, low, middle, high, low, middle, high, low, low, and again sing high, low, middle, high, low, middle, high, low, middle, high, low, low. Music, we love to play music. but we can sing, we can bring joy to the world today. Music, we love to play music. Oh, we might have to talk to, baby, the talk time. So let's sing, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Let's sing, I love you. I
Awesome. I love it.
It's good. Very catchy. Yeah, these are all earworms. You'll never get them out of your head.
And that's what I like about all the songs that you've created is that they got that flow. They got that catch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really
think that's so important because our students, they love knowing something that you don't know. So the fact that they can know a song and they've been learning the same songs, or they might have been singing them for 20 years, it gives them real comfort, because most of the time they walk around in society and they don't know as much as other people.
Yeah.
And that must be quite scary. But when I'm playing the piano, they know exactly what to do. They know the words, they know the lyrics, they know the instruments they play, they know the dance moves, and they've done it in front of thousands of people. So that gives them the edge. They're up here and you and I are kind of down here.
Yeah.
And that's really good for them.
Yeah, it really boosts their energy. Because you can, if you watch them in the videos and if you watch them in person, if you ever get a chance to check you out in person, the expressions, the smiles, it is truly amazing. It is life-changing for these people.
Yeah. I mean, we had a number of stories actually when I decided to do this full time, because when I started, it was just as a weekend club. But when I went full time with the Music Man Project, we asked some people, would they come to my sessions? What impact was it making? And one lady wrote to me, and she said that her daughter, who was quite severely autistic, she said that she used to scream with fear if more than one person came into a room.
Oh, wow.
And that same girl, that same lady, her daughter, performed solo at the London Palladium. It took 15 years, but she used to scream with fear. Autistic, very afraid, loud, screamed. And then she performed Music is Magic at the London Palladium.
Wow, that is
thousands of people.
Incredible. That is life-changing. And it's like you said, right? It didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen in one day. It took time. But if you're consistent and you follow through and you keep pushing, anything is possible.
Yeah.
It is truly amazing.
Patience, yeah.
So because we're on tea time, David, and I know you have a teapot, and you're in the UK, and they're famous for tea. So how do you drink your tea?
Well, this is very interesting for me because, yes, you're right. We English, we love our tea, and we've got a huge history to do with tea. But I used to have just tea all the time. It was my drink, tea in the morning, tea at lunchtime, in the evening. Everything was a cup of tea, would make life better, you know.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
But then about 4 or 5 years ago, I discovered that I was dairy intolerant.
Oh.
So I can't have dairy. And in fact, if I do have milk, it will give me a sore throat quite quickly.
Oh, wow.
So I then moved across to lots of Chinese teas.
Oh, wow. That is cool.
Oh, so this is my Chinese teapot. So now I don't have milk in my tea, but I have green teas and herbal teas. And particularly favorite of mine is peppermint tea.
Oh, that's my favorite.
And peppermint tea is amazing. And fennel infusion and stuff like that.
Oh, that is good too.
But lots of Chinese teas, because in my spare time, Liz, I do Tai Chi. In my spare time, my hobby is Tai Chi. So the tea and Chinese tea and doing Tai Chi, it's all my kind of way of just calming down.
I've never heard of Tai Chi. What is that?
Tai Chi, so a very ancient martial art that you see people do in the parks in China.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, an ancient martial art, Tai Chi Kung Fu, and it's very good for your health.
Oh, wow. I'll have to look into that.
So, yeah, you'd love it. So I do that as a hobby, and then when I drink tea, I now drink Chinese tea out of my Chinese teapot and my very small Chinese little cup here, which is great. My wife has normal tea in a big mug.
Yeah, that's usually how I do it, a big pot. But I do like the flavored teas as well in a big pot. But when I do my old English tea with the milk and the sugar, like my Grammy taught me, then it's the big pot. The big pot comes out and it's tea all day long. But with all these flavored teas and that, I can only do one or two, and then I find that it's filling, or there's something in the tea that makes your mouth dry, or there's different ingredients, right? There's so many different teas. I've tried many, many teas, like worldwide. I have tea from India, Japan, China. I have people send me tea because I'm the tea lady. So it's pretty amazing. So
it is, and of course in China they have the Chinese tea ceremony. They have tea ceremony, don't they?
Yes.
And there's a Kung Fu Chinese tea ceremony, so it's very, very important.
Oh,
I'm a big fan of tea.
I think I lost you.
Yeah.
I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. How's that? Better?
There, I got you back.
I don't know why it does that. I think it must be something to do with things cutting into my phone, but we can edit all that out. Okay. How's that? Is that okay?
That's better.
So so tea is great. I love tea. And I have my teapot, but peppermint tea is probably my favorite. I have that every morning.
Yeah. Jasmine is my actual favorite of all times. And it's not because of the flavor, it's the smell that my grandma wore, her perfume.
Oh,
so it's that resemblance. So I don't really enjoy the tea. I just enjoy the scent of it. Yes. But my second favorite is peppermint. I love peppermint tea. And I love growing peppermint and having fresh peppermint tea.
Yes. Yeah, I was advised to take peppermint tea again as a way of reducing the phlegm in my throat. I used to get a lot when I had coughs and colds. Peppermint tea. So I was told to have it every morning, and it really does work. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it does. It loosens the throat up.
Yeah. So, but it's been nice, traveling around the world with the Music Man project. And I the other day I added all the miles, and it's 52,000 miles in the last 5 years traveling to set up Music Man projects. And one of the things that's so nice is that you can go to different countries and experience their culture and try their food and try their teas. It's been lovely. So I look forward to coming to Canada one day.
Oh my goodness, yeah. And we'd love to have you. And I'm only an hour from the Parliament Hill from Ottawa, so it would be amazing for the students to see Ottawa, the Parliament, and meet the Prime Minister, and anything is possible.
Absolutely. And then you'd be the first Music Man project in Canada.
Yeah.
Join the big international family.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Have you seen, this is the program from the Royal Albert Hall I was talking about there.
Oh wow, cool. So can people purchase that?
Oh yeah, you can do, but if people, I've got some spare copies, I can send these out. But a lot of these pictures are on our website as well. They're all on our website and my blog and stuff like that. So, but it's really great. And we've been very lucky because people now are starting to realize about what we're doing, and they're starting to support us a bit more. It's taken a while, but we won a lovely partnership with the Salvation Army in the UK, and they help us to reach some different communities, which is really, really good. And the Music Man Project has won lots of awards. Some of our students were recently on TV. They were in a major advert in the UK TV for the National Lottery. So that was great for them. And I don't know if you know, the Royal College of Music in London. It's a really famous place to study music. And they're using my work. One of the the PhDs. She's studying to do a PhD in music and helping people with Down syndrome, and she's using the Music Man project as the basis of her dissertation, her big thesis. So
oh wow,
we will have this really good research and a published book, hopefully, at the end of it, to show the impact that we're making through the Music Man project.
Oh, that is cool. That is really, really cool.
So lots of exciting things to happen, as long as we can get this COVID out the way.
I know, right? We need to get it going. Like that new song for you and your students to learn. Let it go. Get it going.
Yeah, exactly. We've got to do that. I tell you, there's another song, if you don't mind me playing for you. This song is called Join Together, One by One. It's a lovely song. Can I just show you that
song?
Yeah,
for sure. I haven't heard that one.
No. This is called Join Together.
I didn't do enough homework.
Very apt. In times of uncertainty, love and friendship see you through. Music mends an aching heart, building peace and hope anew. Join together, one by one. Join together, hand in hand. These times of uncertainty, joy and humor see you through. Music mends an aching heart, building peace and hope anew. Join together, two by two. Join together, hand in hand. In these times of uncertainty, faith and knowledge see you through. Music mends an aching heart, building peace and hope anew. Join together, three by three. Join together, hand in hand. In these times of uncertainty, strength and courage see you through. Music mends an aching heart, building peace and hope anew. Join together, four by four. Join together, hand in hand. All together, side by side. All together, hand in hand. All together, side by side. All together, hand in hand.
That is awesome. I didn't do enough homework because I never heard that one.
That one's on the album. It's on YouTube as well. And you can imagine all of our students, they stand there and they do join together, and then they hold hands, and then everybody in the audience joins in. And they did that at the Albert Hall and the London Palladium. Or thousands of people standing up to do something together. And you know what? Wherever we go, we do that song as well when we go on international trips. So I always feel that they're all joining together. The whole population of the planet that is disabled people, they have that in common. But we're trying to kind of join them all up through music and link them together, because I think it's a very powerful thing to do that, joining people together.
So what would be your message to the world, David, for everybody out there who has a hard time understanding people with challenges?
Yeah. Okay. To have high expectations. You must have high expectations. If you don't have high expectations, if you don't believe it's possible, there's really no point in doing anything. You've got to reach right, and you might not get there, but just the journey to the top will be so rewarding. So have high expectations, because people with those challenges will always surprise you. They will always do more than you think they can do. And I truly think the only reason I was successful up to this point is because I didn't teach the disability. I just taught who was in front of me. I didn't even know what was meant to be wrong with them.
Yep.
I only found out afterwards that they had this condition and this syndrome, and this meant they couldn't do that and that. But at the time when I was teaching my students, certainly for the first 10, 15 years, I had no idea. I just taught a human being.
Yeah.
So don't teach the disability. Don't have low expectations, but have high expectations. And then bigger than that, more general than that, I would just say, go for it. There was a lovely, a friend of mine who had a big influence when I was young, and he was into the theatre, amateur dramatics, and putting on plays and stuff. And he once said to me, just give it bags of oomph. It's a lovely English expression, bags of oomph. And what it means is just give it your energy. If you give it your energy, you're going to get somewhere, you know. Yeah. I don't like it when people put limitations on themselves.
Yeah, I'm the same way. There's no limits. And if you're different, you're different. Just shine in that different.
Yes. Yeah. And if it's not going to be, I decided that if it wasn't going to be me doing this, it's only going to be someone else. So I thought I might as well just go for it. And now I aim as high as I can. If we could perform on the moon, I would go for it. It doesn't matter. I just want to keep aiming higher.
Yeah.
And then proving people wrong is great. If only people, you know, not in a negative way, but just be positive and have high expectations.
By proving somebody wrong, it's not a bad thing. It's just showing them that, you know what, you didn't believe in me enough, but I believed in myself enough, and I did it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we've had lots of knockbacks on the way. Lots of people told me that I wouldn't be able to perform at the Albert Hall. It would be too difficult with all the wheelchairs and all the problems. And all I just said is, no, I'm going to keep going. So now every time somebody tells me I can't do something, or rolls their eyes, or looks at me and shakes their head, I just smile inside. I actually take it as energy. You
just boosted me, gave me my oof that I needed.
Yes. It's like, okay, wow. You know?
Yeah.
And that's I think that's my one of my many secrets.
Yeah. And I love that. I love that you put no limits on anything, and that you got that, you know, I'm going to prove you wrong kind of attitude, because that's what we need to get things accomplished and to get things moving. We need to not let people's opinions of us stop us from living our dreams.
Yes, absolutely. And it's all about intention, Liz. If your intention is to do something good for other people, and you're not greedy, you're not just doing it for money or just doing it for yourself, but if your intention is pure and makes other people feel good, then there's no limits. You should do what you can and enjoy, and also do it with a smile on your face. Yeah. Be happy.
Yeah. Be happy.
Only live once. Be happy.
Be happy.
Because I'm very lucky, because I can sit at a piano and I can just go. And that makes me happy.
Yep.
But what I found is it also makes other people happy.
Yeah, it does.
My students love it when I do things like that. When I do funny, silly, quick, exciting music, they smile and they love it and they dance.
Well, so, it gets people amazed, right? It gets them in tuned with their little child, their little kid inside, right? The playfulness.
Yes. That's really important. Yeah, just be a big kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be a big kid and drink tea.
Drink tea. Drink lots of tea. And come see Miss Liz.
Exactly. And come and see Miss Liz for a nice chat and some tea.
Yeah, because my dream is to have tea with the Queen one day, and your dream is to come to Canada. So I think it sounds good.
That sounds like a good, fair exchange.
I think so. Who knows? Maybe the Queen will be watching
it,
Tea Time with Miss Liz and say, "Hey, I want to have tea with that girl."
Yeah, absolutely.
You never know, right? Have high dreams and have high goals. I tell that to my children all the time. Think big.
Absolutely. And I always think those sort of dreams are always just one step away, you know, because we've performed in front of a member of the royal family, in fact, two members of the royal family. But it's perfectly possible that might then lead to a performance where the Queen might be at that performance. And then whoever's in the audience, you might be in the audience of that day.
Yeah.
And then you might well see the Queen. You see, so it's always just one step away from something extremely exciting. And you should always keep pushing all the doors open, never close any doors of opportunity. And that's what I do for the students. I feel that sometimes in the world, they don't have the same opportunity, because I can manufacture my own opportunities. I can go running around and through my mind, or just by talking to people or working really hard, because that's the trick, this hard work.
Yeah.
And I can open the doors for myself. But these guys can't. So they do need somebody to help them get the opportunity for themselves. And so we can all fulfill our dreams.
Well, and that's what I say about Tea Time, right? I'm just the host. The Tea Time is really about my guest and all of their dreams and their goals and how far they've come. And it's incredible. Like, I learn something new every time from each guest that I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. I have to try it. Yeah. So. And
do you know what you're doing? You're also giving people an opportunity. Like I said, opportunity is the word. You're giving people an opportunity to just to speak, to have a voice, to have a platform. Because I feel better from talking to you. Because you can, especially in lockdown, you can get quite stuck, you know. Yeah. And whereas to be able to just let out what your dreams are and what your purpose, we need to have a purpose in life, I think. Yeah.
We need to know our why, right?
We need to tell people. Yeah.
And my why is, since I was a little girl, I knew that I was a messenger. I needed to get a message out. But it wasn't only my message, it was the message of everybody else. And I was given this opportunity at the age of 4 with my great grandma from Germany to drink tea, and tea has been in my life since.
That's amazing.
And whether you drink tea or you drink coffee or you drink whatever you drink, there's something that you always take, and you take that in for that moment. And like I tell everybody, a cup of tea, there's not one cup of tea that is the same. And it's just like all of us, we're not the same. We're all different, and we all shine in different ways. So that's how a tea time is. The different flavors of the world, right?
Yeah, wonderful.
So,
well, I think you're great.
Well, I would like you to end the show on a song that I've listened to yesterday, and I really think that it's an empowering song, especially at this time. It's called Peace and Hope.
Oh, yes.
And I think it would be nice to end the show like that, with peace and hope, so we can give everyone some hope to continue. Once this COVID is done, everybody's going to get back to life, and we're all going to get ready for the Music Man in Cornwall, because
it would be a pleasure to come and see you. I think as soon as COVID's out of the way, we should keep in contact on email.
Oh, yes, for sure.
And all we need to find, is a school or a care home or a group, a charity, and then I would just come over and teach the guys how to do the music.
Yeah, we have in community living where it's all challenged adults and that, and it would be amazing to have you a part of that.
Yep, that sounds perfect. Okay, I'm going to find Peace and Hope in my music here. Here we go. Yeah, so this is a song called Peace and Hope, and actually I taught this in India 2 years ago, and it was really, really moving, because on the first day I taught it to some ladies that were in a care home in India, and the next day I was walking up the path to teach them again, and I heard them singing this tune whilst I was walking up the path. They'd remembered it from the day before, and they were singing it as I approached the building. And I suddenly thought, I'm thousands of miles away from home, and I'm walking up to this big building with lots of very vulnerable ladies in it that all had disabilities, and they were singing my tune.
Wow.
Just because they wanted to. and I was so emotional, I had to go to a nearby field and have a talk to a goat. Seriously, there was a goat, and I just talked to this goat, and I said to this goat, "Oh my gosh, what is this all about? This is so moving." And the goat didn't say anything back, but it was a lovely moment. Anyway, this is Peace and Hope. Here we go. Peace and hope. Fire and love. Belief and trust. Faith and peace. Peace and love. Fire and love. Belief and trust. Faith and peace. Peace and love. Fire and love. Belief and trust. Faith and peace be with you as you go. I can everlasting friend. Coming, helping you to cope. Find some peace and you'll find hope. Hope be with you as you go. I can everlasting friend. Lifting spirits even higher. Find some hope and you'll find fire. Fire be with you as you go. I can everlasting friend. Searching, reaching up above. Find your fire and you'll find love. Peace and love. Fire and love. Belief and trust. Faith and peace. Peace and love. Fire and love. Belief and trust. Faith and love be with you as you go. I can everlasting try to love you so to breathe. Give some love, receive relief. Belief be with you as you go. I can everlasting friend. One more friend is still a must. Belief is nothing without trust. Trust be with you as you go. I can everlasting friend. Strong red, I am well and safe. I am ready to fight faith. Everybody loves God. Peace and love. And trust, faith, so now I always invite you to bring that home along. Peace and hope. Fire and love. belief and trust, faith.
Beautiful. Thank you so much,
There we go.
Dave.
Pleasure.
Truly amazing. I just thought that that song was a nice way to end the show, especially with everything going on. People need peace in their life and they need hope for a better day tomorrow, right? Because we will get through this together and we will see you and we will stay connected. Our friendship has just begun. So after the show, I'll get you to put all of the information in the comments. So if anybody would like to reach out to you, and I will send your information to Community Living in Cornwall, and
Right.
And you guys can connect somehow, maybe a Zoom call, come up with some kind of event or something. Anything is possible. I'm just that one dot that connects the next dot. So
yeah. Well, Liz, it's been an absolute pleasure, and thank you so much for having me on your show. I've loved it.
Well, thank you so much, and we will make a difference, one cup of tea at a time. So thank you all for watching me today, and thank you, David, for joining us. And we will see you on Friday with Sabrina Renee for Calvary Consulting. Yes, I have flavors of all kinds coming your way. So I'll see you guys on Friday. So thank you all for joining me today. And David, thank you again. And stay in touch and we will get connected.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.